Timeout. Technical difficulties here. Hold on.
30 seconds or
Guys, I don't have much time, so let's.
The mic, the mic.
the box is off.
I understand that.
No audio.
It's to go to meetings.
Huh? Yeah. We have to go to Plan B.
Give us 2 seconds.
Rebooting.
Hey, oh, you had it.
Go.
What's up?
Thank you.
Go.
So Philip, teammate of Eric Weddle for 9 years. It's going to be the first time that you guys are playing facing him since he left.
Still doing it.
What do you remember him as a football player and as a teammate?
Yeah, he was a great teammate, great player. He's a great friend. You know, he and I still keep in touch throughout the year and off seasons. The boys have played ball together. So it was obviously a lot of great years together, and we've had quite a bit of competition on the practice field. Just the score wasn't involved. So it'll be a heck of a challenge. Both he leading that defense and just that defense in general. It's a heck of a defense. So we definitely have a work cut out for us on Saturday.
When you see a guy on the practice field every day for however many years, and now you see him as an opponent, does anything carry over? I mean, given that there's different systems and whatnot.
Yeah, I mean, I think both of us know each other very well. I mean, we've had a lot of conversations about football. You know, things we like, things we didn't like, things we see, things we didn't see. So, yeah, I mean, some of the things he does, and he's still doing the things I've seen forever. And but at the end of the day, I mean, the ball gets snapped and you got to play. You know, and he's gonna do his job and do all he can to help get his guys in the best position possible. And like I said, it's a heck of a defense over there. It's not just him. It's a heck of a defense. And then, you know, he's going to know things I like and different things we do, and we're just going to have to go out there and execute. I mean, at some point, you got to go play, and you prepare all week, and then we'll go.
How difficult is it to get over a good win? You always hear we got to put a bad loss behind us, but when you have a nice win, does that carry over?
Well, you know, playing on Thursday, we've had quite a few days. I think it was good. A good long weekend, enjoyable weekend to be able to relax and watch games this weekend after a big win like we had. But quickly, when you look at this opponent and you looked at all that's still out there, we know the challenge that we have in the Ravens, and then all that's at stake. So it's not hard, especially this time of the year, to move on to next opponent.
Phil, could you tell with the way Mike Williams' first season went that he was especially motivated coming into this season?
I think there was a little bit of that. Certainly, he wanted to bounce back and have a great year. But I think again, we saw spurts of it on the practice field. He was injured. You know, he was injured last year. So I think that was the biggest thing last year. He was injured, and when he got healthy, it was mid to late season. It's just hard to kind of get back in a groove. So I thought it was big for him, as we said, to have a whole full off season and a full training camp, and he didn't miss a day. He didn't miss one day, and I think that was big for him. And he made those kind of contested high catches or on the boundary or spectacular kind of plays. He made about one a day, it seemed like, all off season and all training camp. And then, obviously, he's had a heck of a year for us. I mean, he hasn't had the 60, 70 catches this season, but he's had a ton of big ones. Obviously, anytime you get in the end zone, all those are big. And, you know, it's been great to kind of see him come on. And I still think the best is yet to come for him, just as far as a career. I mean, he's going to have a heck of a career.
Coach Lynn was saying he's really improved with his route running over the course of the season. How do you?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just, again, I think it's the college to pro game. Everything's different. Obviously, he came from a great program at Clemson, and what Dabo and they've done there is awesome. And so, I mean, he came in obviously catching a lot of balls and all that, and knowing football. I mean, it wasn't like he didn't understand football and know things, but it's just it's a progression of how just little details that we all grew as players from the college game to the pro game. And again, he's going to continue to improve in that regard, recognizing how they're playing in certain coverages, how to run certain routes, and continuing to progress. But when you have that kind of size, that kind of speed, and that type of range and ball skills, you can work on the other stuff, no question.
I got to ask you, what was it like walking off the field with all the people booing you and you're just waving at everyone? It's gone viral.
Yeah, well, it felt pretty good finally after a long stretch of being booed and having to tuck my head and trot off. So But they had just asked. We had to move past that one in a hurry because as exciting as that one was, we got to move on to this week, and we have. But I think games like that, times like that, those are emotional. It's emotional wins, and you enjoy those the best you can.
What makes the Ravens defense as good as it's been this year? Is there something different or unusual?
Well, they were good last year too. I mean, this defense, they built a culture there defensively over the last longer than a decade, way longer than that, of just playing this certain physical style and aggressive, get after it. We're going to blitz from all over the place, pressure in different ways, and then we're just going to line up and play sound defense. I mean, it's just they really keep you off balance, and they just fly to the football. And Suggs has been there forever. He was a part of the old Ravens way back when. I mean, he's been there, had 14, 15. I don't want to short him any years. A heck of a career, and still doing it at a high level. A lot of those guys. I mean, that's a secondary with that are high draft picks that can line up and cover you. A linebacking core that can really run. They got big boys in the interior that can stop the run and penetrate. So it's a top defense in the league for a reason. And like I said, we'll have work cut out for us.
So where does Eric fit into that then?
Well, I think as he was here, he's a quarterback of the defense. So you can just tell. I mean, he's the one calling the plays. He's the one who's got the green dot, and at least it seems that way. They all look to him to do a lot of the communicating, and all of them are. 57 Mosley there in the middle is doing quite a bit of it as well. Suggs obviously has been there playing for that defense. Even though schemes get tweaked, when you've been there that long, he knows what's going on for sure. And all those guys do. It just seems like a group that's really on the same page. But you see Eric directing a lot of that, as you would expect. That's what he's done here. That's what he's great at. And he's also a heck of a player after the snap. But I think it's some of that pre-snap things that he does that really separates him from a lot of other safeties.
Is this your first time in your career that you've won this many ball games and you guys are like way down at the 5 seed and trying to jockey for the 1 seed?
I mean, I think that's an easy answer. I mean, yeah. I mean, shoot, but it's what it is. We're in a heck of a division, and the Chiefs have had a heck of a season. So I do think, though, it's with 2 games to go, the fact that you're in is exciting. But obviously, there's a lot at stake. I mean, we can find a way to win a heck of a game, heck of a challenge against the Ravens, and find a way to win the next Sunday and still be the 5 seed. So I think we can just control what we control, and that's this opponent in front of us who also has a ton to play for. I mean, they're still in the thick of winning their division. They could end up being a 4. This team we're playing, or also getting in as a 6. So it's playoff football has begun. We can't wait around until January, and heck of opponent to have this Saturday.
Can you take us through the mechanics of the game? When you're at the line, will you say something, and then Eric will say something in response to what you
I'll find out. We'll find out early on. We'll find out early on how much of that will go on. I mean, that would go on about every day, multiple times a day on the practice field, Of course, you could hear a little better then when it's just us on the practice field. But, yeah, I mean, I think, again, though, I don't want to make too much of it. I don't imagine he's going to analyze everything he hears. He knows that I know that he knows. You know what I mean? And vice versa. I mean, different things. I mean, he and I used to always talk about things that, I saw you do this, or I saw you tell him something, And so knowing that, you can almost know too much, and you almost paralyze yourself thinking, well, I thought he was doing this, and it looked like he was doing that, and you forget about the rest of the play. So I think it's going to be about execution as it is. It's not me versus him. It's our offense against an awesome defense. He happens to be one of the key components, and a guy that is as smart as any safety you'll play against. So I think there is a challenge there, but I don't think we should overstate the fact of how well we know each other. Yeah, there's things change, and some of the words that they're saying, we can make them mean something different. You know what I mean? So, I don't think that nobody's panicking in here about what he may know, and I don't think he's panicking about what I may know about, something from him. I think it adds a little spice to it, but at the end of the day, we got to find a way to get first downs and score points, and it's a heck of an opponent to try to do that against.